Morning, everyone, and to our televiewers in our YouTube account, DPWH Lanao. This morning, we'll be conducting the Speed Conference of the following project with contract ID number 26K at 0032 Rebid, 26K at 0033 Rebid, of the group project. This Rebid conference is conducted to RA 12009 under section 51, which refers to during entity to conduct Rebid conference, where they discuss, clarify, and explain about the usability requirements, technical components, and financial components. Among others, it includes also the discussion of activities in awarding of contracts once project is bid. Importantly, this is the right time for discussion from the prospective bidders before the opening of bids. But before we formally start this pre-bid conference, may we have first our silent prayer, after which is the roll call of the attendees by the back secretariat, Ma'am Anabel Tignano.
Good morning, everyone. On the attendees for today's pre-bid conference, May 25, 2026. We have Johanny Munai, our chairperson.
Present.
Fatima Hajali. Present. Sir Shano Ladilifona.
Present.
Sir Safi Sarif Ivan.
Present.
Sir Abdullah Jalaluddin.
Present.
Abdul Madid Z. Amayman.
Present.
Ma'am Norjihan C. Makabanto. Present. Ma'am Anwera Ajmel.
Present.
Ma'am Norhanida and Ma'am Saka. Ma'am Elizabeth Subanyasha.
Present.
Ma'am Flora Divani. Ma'am Farhana Ayas. Present. Sir Major C. Hatia, sir.
Present.
And yours totally probably. We also have now I was these are the attendees for today's conference.
Thank you. Since the back member is in forum, we may now start to discuss the following contracting, technical and financial proposals, usability requirements, and awarding of contracts by the DPWH area.
Good morning. The DPWH Lanao Del Norte is engineering office. Through its Beach Plan Awards Committee, now it invites bids for the works for the first project, Network Development Program, paving of unpaved roads, Roads-Tertiary roads, Lanao Del Norte, various operations road, or JSICR, S00969 and 10. Chainage 890 or Chainage 2520 with the contract ID number 26EF0082 BP with the location at Munai, Lanao Del Norte. For the scope of the project, facilities for the engineer, other general requirements, earthworks, surface and discourse, surface process, drainage and civil protection structures, and miscellaneous structure. With the approved budget of the contract is by 54,237,620 and 21 centavos. The cost of bidding document is 30,000 pesos. With a contract duration of 239 calendar for the license category A and B. License classification region A and B. For the second project, asset preservation program, rehabilitation, reconstruction of roads with slip slope, collapse, and landslide, Tertiary roads, Dobleston-Butadon Road, K 1995 plus 581 to K 1995 plus 886. With the contract ID of 26 AF 0033, repeat, location at Sultan, Naga, Dimaporo, Lanao Del Norte. The scope of the projects are the following: facilities for the engineer, other general requirements, earthworks, bridge construction, drainage and slope protection structures. The approved budget for the contract is 13,115,766 and 3 centavos. The cost of bidding document is 15,000 pesos. The contract duration is 102 calendar days. License category C and D. License classification small b. That's for the contract rate of the two project.
Any modification to the bidding document shall be identified as an amendment. Requests for clarifications or any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the back of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. The BAC shall respond to the said request by issuing a bid bulletin or bid supplemental duly signed by the BAC chairperson to be made available to all those who have properly secured the bid docs at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, and shall be posted in field jeeps, conspicuous place in the premises of the procuring entity, on the department website and or social media platforms of the procuring entity. It is reminded that all prospective bidders are encouraged to inspect the site and took geotag photos of it before the procurement process. So we have the 26 KF 0032 rebid. The minimum work experience requirements for key personnel are shown. On the other hand, for the minimum equipment required, these are the minimum equipments required to complete the project. As per the readiness of the contract, shown are the approved detailed engineering design plan and program of work for the said project. Shown is the vicinity map of the project, which is from Munai Municipal Hall. It would take 17 minutes ride from the site, which is approximately 10.7 kilometers. Shown also is the bill of quantities of the contract, the traffic signs and hazard markers, the typical traffic signage layout, plan and profile, PCCP details, the high density polyethylene pipe details, the typical roadway section, chevron sign details, line canal details, the PWD provision details, and for the project 26 KF 0033 rebid, shown also is the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel the minimum equipment requirements, and as per the readiness of the construction or the approved detailed engineering design plan and program of the said project. So vicinity map is from SND Municipal Hall. It would take 8 minutes ride from the site, which is approximately 5.5 kilometer. Shown is the bill of quantities, the plan and profile, the typical roadway section, the reinforced catchwall details, the inlet slab and RCPC details, advanced warning signs, typical signage layout. As per DEO 82 series of, So as per DEO 82 series of 2025, which supersedes the Department Order number 11 series of 2022 and Department Order number 21 series of 2017, and shall take effect immediately. Installation location for buildings projects. The billboard shall be installed at the front of the project site. For road, bridge, or flood control projects, billboards shall be strategically installed in conspicuous location at both ends of the project. For road project exceeding 10 kilometers, additional billboards shall be installed at every 5-kilometer interval. If the project length extends beyond the last multiple of 5 kilometers by up to 2 kilometers, a single billboard installed at the project endpoint shall suffice for both the final interval and the endpoint. We also require all the contractors doing business in our department to be registered with the DPWH CWR system as per DO 51 series of 2010. Always monitor and update your documents. Expired CPA files will affect your eligibility results. Make it a habit to attach your Class A and Class B documents for your advantage. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission. You may be allowed to submit its eligibility requirements electronically with certification under oath as to the correctness of the statements made and completeness and authentic documents submitted. Link for online submission is shown.
For the submission and receipt of bids, bidders shall submit their bids through the respective duly authorized representatives using the form specified in the bid docs in 2 separate sealed bid envelopes, and which shall be submitted simultaneously. The first shall contain the technical components of the bid, including the eligibility requirements under Section 52 of the IRR, and the second shall contain the financial components of the bid. The first bid envelope shall contain the following technical documents: field JIPs, certificate of registration, which is platinum membership, pickup license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statements of SLCC, NFCC competition, GBA and pickup special license if applicable, bid security in a prescribed form, amount and validity period, project requirements such as organizational chart, list of contractors' personnel, list of contractors' major equipments, which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreement supported by a proof of ownership or certification of availability from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be. Omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of this IRR, which is now 1 to 11, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, and then additional requirement for corporations, latest general information sheet or the GIS reflecting the beneficial ownership information or the BOI duly received by SEC. Lastly, for project costing more than 30 million, ISO 9001:2015 certification is required. For the second bid envelope shall contain the financial document as specified in the Philippine bidding documents. We have the financial bid form, must be in accordance with the prescribed form, duly signed bid prices in the BOQ, duly signed detailed estimates, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental used in the coming up with the bid. And lastly, the cash flow by quarter and payment schedule. These are the standard forms. The standard form for bid form, the standard form for cash flow by quarter, bid securing declaration, bid security, bid and bid security validity period is 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Should it become necessary to extend the validity of the bids and its securities, the procuring entity shall request in writing of those who submitted bids for such extension before the expiration date thereof. For a standard form for organizational chart, the list of personnel, list of equipments, omnibus sworn statements, item 1 to 11, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership. This procurement process shall be using LCRB or lowest calculated and responsive bid. For bid evaluation, the BAC shall check the submitted documents of each bidder against a checklist of required documents to ascertain if they are all present using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion as stated in the instruction to bidders. The ABC shall be the upper limit or ceiling for acceptable bid prices. If a bid price as evaluated and calculated in accordance with this IRR is higher than the ABC, the bidder submitting the same shall be automatically disqualified. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using a non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. First is the completeness of the bid, and second is the arithmetical correction. Bid shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computation errors and other bid modification to identify the LCB. Total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modification which exceed the EBC shall be disqualified. For post-qualification, within 5 calendar days from the receipt by the bidder of the notice from the BAC that the bidder has the LCB, the bidder shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its field of certificate of registration, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bids, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law as stated in the bidding documents like tax clearance, mayor's permit, and DTI or SEC. Further, prospective bidders should not be included on the blacklisted contractor of the GPPB. And moreover, for technical requirements, key personnel or the minimum work requirement should be satisfied. The availability and commitment of major construction equipment as per DO 50 series of 2012 and performance in ongoing government and private contracts as per DO 1 to 7 series of 2018. For financial requirements, the bidder's NFCC shall be verified to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award. So we would also like to emphasize the second and third section of this DO. The certification under item 6 or an item 7 shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid envelopes. And for the equipment, the bidder should specify the submitted bid location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any piece of equipment is not on the specified location, then the bidder shall be post disqualified. As per DO 169 series of 2025, which is the guidelines on the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants, project engineers. So this order shall supersede the department orders number 148 and 227, both series of 2024 and other issuances inconsistent herewith. The full implementation of this order, where only accredited project engineers of the contractors and consultants may be assigned to supervise all DPWH project, and this shall be imposed effective January 1, 2026. So these are the published department orders on accreditation of DPWH contractors and consultant PEs, provisional PEs, and testimonial PEs. So please do check if nasa listahan yung mga PEs to avoid violation of 3-strike policies. Shown are the minimum material testing equipment for medium contractors as per DO 11 series of 2017. Minimum material testing equipment for small contractors as per DO 11 series of 2017. For DO 127 series of 2018, which is the strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of post-qualification bidders with delayed ongoing contracts. All back are hereby directed to strictly apply among others during the conduct of post-qualification or award of contract the following. During post-qualification, the BAC shall determine the bidder's compliance through the declared SLCC, the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel, the availability and commitment, and or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating condition of major equipment units, performance of the bidder in its ongoing government and private contracts. So if any of this ongoing contract shows a single contract with a negative slippage of at least 15%, 2 or more contract with a negative slippage of 10%, and failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contract within 7 days and to complete them within 30 days after the receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 days and to complete the work within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality work, unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligation as per contract terms and conditions in the time of inspection, and liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractors, and also the result of CPS or the contractor's performance evaluation system. So if the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects. As per DO 28 series of 2024, which is the 3-strike policy in the procurement of contracts, grounds A and B falls during the receipt of bids, while ground C falls during the eligibility screening, bid evaluation, and post-qualification. So if a bidder commits any of the 3 major offenses mentioned 3 times within a year, starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of strike 1 or the first warning, which is counted as day 1, through day 365, and if these 3 offenses are of similar or identical in nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, which is the suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Moreover, as per DO 115 series of 2021, this is about your CFAs or the Certificate of Final Acceptance. So please kindly settle this before the bidding.
Now, after determining the lowest calculated responsive bid, the procuring entity shall award the contract to the said LCRB with its submitted price or calculated bid price, whichever is lower. Within 10 calendar days from the receipt of notice of award, the LCRB are required to submit these following documents. First, the notice of award with the bidder's signed conform, authority of signing official or the board's resolution, secretary's certificate. For a joint venture, contractors pick up special JV license and JV agreement. performance security in any of the forms specified in the instruction to bidders used from DPWH INFR 43 or DPWH INFR 44 as applicable. Construction methods. Construction schedule in form of PERT CPM diagram of precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve and cash flow. Professional Regulatory Commission, license number and tax identification number of each key personnel. Manpower schedule. Equipment utilization schedule. Construction safety and health program. Contractors all risk insurance. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments made. Tax clearance from the BIR to prove full and timely payment of taxes. For a local contractor, certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. For a foreign bidder, valid PCAB license and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. When the treaty or international or executive agreement expressly allows submission of the PCAB license and registration for the type and cost of the contract and hand as a precondition to the NOAA, PDM, and anti-TIP management plan. These are the three forms of performance security. First is the cash or cashier's manager's check issued by Universal or Commercial Bank, 10% of the bid amount. Second is the bank draft guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by Universal or Commercial Bank, also 10% of the bid amount. And thirdly, the surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 30% of the bid amount. So these are the sample of insurance certificate.
Thank you. Since all contract data, eligibility requirement, technical and financial components, including award, are all discussed. The briefing conference is now open for questions and clarification on the participating. Since there is no question and clarification from the participating leaders, may I request staff member engineer Jihan Makabando for the adjournment of this brief response. Since all the agenda matters will be discussed, I will be adjournment of this briefing conference. Thank you, everyone. With no further matters and the motion is ended, this briefing conference is.